So today we're going to start lesson 5 of chapter 8. It's inequalities. You've seen things similar to this before. You've done equations. You've actually done some inequalities. We're going to kind of blend it all together. And there's even some new symbols that I'm going to introduce to you. So I'm going to be starting on page 618 in your book. If we look at this chart here with the symbols, this you know is less than. And I know you know the pointy part goes to the smaller number and the open part goes to the bigger number. That doesn't change. I want you to really work on using the proper name for them. And we read them like we read a book from left to right. So the first thing I see is the pointy part. That means that this is the less than symbol. And here the first thing I see is the open part. So this is the greater than symbol. Okay, and you've seen things like this. 3 is less than 5, 8 is greater than 4. Those are both true statements. Well, our new symbols have a line underneath of it. Okay, so instead of just being less than, this symbol is less than or equal to, just like you've taken part of an equal sign. So here, 7 is either less than or equal to 10. And you're like, well, 7 is less than. Yes, but with the equal sign, you could only have a single answer. Like over here, I'll jump over this. X can only equal 4. If I was to say X is less than 3, you've got every number that's possibly less than 3 as a possible answer. If I put this one in there, it could also equal 3. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then this is the greater than or equal to sign. So you still read left to right. Pointy part first means less than, but when you put the line underneath of it, it means less than or equal to. These two are on your keyboard if you needed to text somebody or you were trying to type something in a document. These two are often done with either special characters, or if you absolutely had to, you could do the greater than or less than sign and then format it so it's underlined. Gets a little crazy, but they're there. Okay. Now let's talk about where some of these might be used. And I have some situations for you over here underneath my Post-it notes. All right. So let's say that U equals 6th grade. That might be an event like the 6th grade dance at the beginning of the year. You have to be a 6th grader. You have to equal 6th grade in order to attend the dance at the very, very beginning of the year that's just for 6th graders. Okay? What if you have to be greater than 6th grade? No 6th graders were allowed to go on the very first movies trip for Renaissance. You had to be greater than 6th grade, only 7th and 8th grade. So it's not allowed to equal 6th grade. But then if we do something where we have everybody go, for example, the bowling trip, where you have to be greater than or equal to 6th grade, 5th graders can't go, but 6th graders are allowed because that equals is there. 7th graders are allowed, 8th graders are allowed. I guess if we had 9th and 10th in our school, we would allow them too, but it was probably just a Glen Landing trip, right? So there's the difference. This is only a single answer. Only 6th graders were allowed. This one is only things larger than 6th grade, so in our case, 7th and 8th. And this is equal to 6 or larger, okay? Which one of these do you think has the most possible answers? There's some argument in the math community. This has an infinite number of answers. This one actually has one more because it includes 6th grade. So as high as you could ever imagine, I don't know, the 4,792nd grade, whatever that means. But this one would have one more because it also includes 6th. Which one of those do you think has the least amount of answers, is the most restrictive? Right, this one, because it only has a single answer. Okay? All right, so how this is going to look in the book, let me go down to the example here. Let me hide this for just a moment. It says of the numbers 6, 7, or 8. So they're giving you a few that they want you to test, which is a solution of the inequality f plus 2 is less than 9. Now, if you remember, this is kind of like a split. So we want this side to have a smaller answer than 9. Well, you're going to have to check each one. When this was an equal sign instead of a less than sign, you would only have a single answer. There was only one number that I could put in here to make this be true. Now it is possible that you could have multiple numbers on your list that make this be true. Of course, the book set it up so that there's only one to completely confuse you, but trust me, it's possible. So we are going to have to check each one. You don't have to write them all out. The book goes through extraordinary lengths to show you this so that you understand it. Now, there is another little symbol that I want to show you here. Let me see if I can zoom in enough to actually show you. Okay, it's the less than sign with a little itty bitty question mark. That's showing that you're not sure yet. You are not declaring that 6 plus 2 is less than 9. You're checking it. You might also see, we'll show in another one over here, that you might have a line drawn through it. So this is saying 4 plus 3, is it greater than 9? I'm not sure. I'm just setting it up. I'm not saying it. But when I get down here, I'm declaring it is not greater than slashed out. It is not greater than. Okay, so you'll see some of those symbols pop up. Let me zoom back out so you can actually see this page. There we go. Okay, so we're going to test each one of these. We put 6 in. Is 6 plus 2 less than 9? Yes, it is. Is 7 plus 2 less than 9? No. Just because they're the same, this symbol does not allow for them to be equal. The number has to be less than 9. So 7 is not a possible solution. And then is 8 plus 2 less than 9? 10 is not less than 9. So no, this number that I put in does not work. Okay, let's go to the bottom with the got it and try one of these. All right, of the numbers 8, 9, or 10, which is a solution to this? So we're going to check each one. If I do 8 minus 3, I get 5. Is 5 greater than 6? No. If I do 9 minus 3, is 9 minus 3 greater than 6? It's equal to it, but this doesn't talk about being equal, so that's not it. And then is 10 minus 3, 7, is 7 greater than 6? Yes, so this is our answer. Now, if they gave me a longer list, they said check 11, check 12, check 13, these would also be answers. You can have multiple numbers that make this be true, right? Because 11 minus 3 is 8, and 8 is greater than 6. 12 minus 3 is 9. 9 is greater than 6. Anything that makes this be true is a possible solution. Okay, so that's when you're given a listing you have to check. Over on the next page, they give you this big, long, what is this? All right, so here's your inequality, x plus 3 greater than 9. They want you to test it when x is 4. Is 4 a solution to this? Well, we're going to do the same thing. 4 plus 3 is 7. Is 7 greater than 9? It is not. So this is not a solution. Okay? Same thing here. You kind of have the answer at the end. Put the 6 in for y. So 18 minus 6 is 12. Is 12 less than or equal to 12? Yes, this one does allow for this to be the answer because you've got the equal one there. If it had simply said this, then it would not have worked. But because we're allowed to equal it, 6 is a solution. All right. And similarly here, if I do 11 plus 8, I get 19. And 17 is not greater than or equal to 19. Even with that equals in there, it didn't work out. So no, 8 is not a solution. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about that I hope you will help you with this, the word inequality, if you're really good with your prefixes in ELA, in means not. So the title of all of this stuff literally means not equal, right? This is greater than or less than. It's not equal. Well, then they go crazy and throw the equal sign back in there, but it still has that inequality symbol in it. All right, one more on the next page. This will be 620. A word problem. Louisa works at a gift shop. She receives a bonus if she makes more than 20 balloon bouquets in a month. Which months did Louisa receive a bonus? Use the inequality B is greater than 20, where B means the number of bouquets she made each month. So if the balloon bouquets is greater than 20. All right, most of us aren't going to write this. Most of us aren't going to think like this. We're going to go over here and see which numbers are bigger than 25. All right, July, well, yeah, I'm sorry, bigger than 20. July, that's bigger than 20. No, no, yes. What about November? I added this on here so that we could talk about this. Would she get a bonus for the month of November? It equaled 20, but is it greater than 20? In this case, she would not get the bonus. She would only get it for the 2 months that were greater than 20.